Mavericks owner Mark Cuban calls tanking, quote, brutal, but acknowledged he told his team it will be best to lose for the rest of the season. Cuban told Julius Erving, Dr. J on the House Call with Dr. J podcast, quote, probably not supposed to say this, but like, I just had dinner with a bunch of our guys the other night, and here we are. You know, we weren't competing for the playoffs. I was like, look, losing is our best option. Pablo, Mavs have the league's third worst record, but do you have a problem with him saying tanking's okay?
The rules of the game are constructed such that this makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
It makes a lot of sense. And you can argue about whether the rules make sense, whether there are ways to prevent tanking and even more drastically reform the lottery. But as constructed, this makes a lot of sense. I will warn Mark Cuban, as I'm sure he's already aware, that the reason why Sam Hinkie in Philadelphia is no longer the GM is because he was very baldly in behavior doing, allegedly, what Mark Cuban is saying explicitly. The league does not like this. There are only so many existentially threatening things to the league, and one of them is do not say that you're not trying to win games.
Yeah.
And that is a huge issue for Adam Silver.
Sam Hinkie doesn't have a job not because they weren't trying to win games, because no one has been more shameful and embarrassing in their attempt to actively try to lose games.
This is a whole other argument. Whole other argument.
Mark Cuban hasn't worried about a job.
Yeah.
He owns nothing.
He is the owner.
Right. You ain't gonna fire yourself, right?
What you say about me? You're fired.
Mark Cuban says that this is best. Best for who? It's best for Mark Cuban. It ain't best for any of those dudes that are out there actively doing the losing. How many of those dudes that are actively doing the losing are going to be around when this gets better? None of them. Is Dirk going to be there? Is this best for Dirk? Is Dirk going to be there by the time they get good?
Dirk's been stealing money for 2 years, though.
Yeah, it's best for Mark Cuban. When he says it's best for us to lose, it ain't best for those cats to go out there and lose. And the part that I always feel like gets lost in this is somebody got to go out there and do that losing, and it's never the person that's putting together a losing team.
But you know they already know.
Yeah,
I mean, when you look around and the veterans are sitting and the young players are out there losing games, they already know what you're doing. It's like this. There's two ways to break up with somebody. You can just say, we through, or you can continue to do things and hope they break up with you later. He just decided to say, we're through. Either scenario, you know what's going on.
Well, we know the difference between a team and an organization. So right now, we're seeing the incentives shape the behavior of the organization that are different from the team. We get that. So as a player, you're looking at it from a micro perspective, and the team has a macro perspective. They're looking at it from up top saying, you know what? We're not asking you guys to lose games, but we're knowing that it's beneficial in losing because we're going to be better in the draft. So there is a core, Dennis Smith Jr. and others, that's going to be around going forward that you can pad your stats, but guess what? In benefit of winning, we don't need those stats.
Here's what some of these cats need to do the math on about this, because I get their point about tanking. Somebody got Giannis at 15. Somebody got Kawhi at 15. Donovan Mitchell, they got him at 14. You can get really good players late lottery and in the middle part of the first round in a way that you could not do before. Now, if it's a guy like Ben Simmons who happens to be out there, like one of those, or Anthony Davis, I get your argument.
Or
just on GP, I don't. The Warriors, look at that team they built and go look where all those guys were drafted outside of Kevin Durant.
That is all true, but this is what I would say. If championship contention is a life or death proposition, as we sort of talk about it as such.
Because we get paid to.
Because we get paid to. But if that's life or death, and a doctor says to you, hey, there's a surgery that is the most likely surgery to help you live, but it's going to cause you to be real disfigured. It's going to be shameful and embarrassing, and no one's going to want to be around you.
But
you have a best chance to win a title. You are going to get that surgery.
What did you drink during All-Stars?
There's a lot of.
But is that actually real life the best chance that you have to win? How many people have we had to truly demonstrate that they could pull this off? Because like even if you said like the Cavs when they got Kyrie, that was the Clippers pick when they did that. It wasn't even their tank pick. Their tank pick was Anthony Bennett.
The guy who was going to pull this off was the guy I mentioned before who was unceremoniously ousted because you guys thought he was a dork.
Yeah, can we talk about the other picks that he got wrong and how he basically ruined and how he basically ruined
whoever the hell Pablo.
That's not why New Orleans the well got ruined.
All right, that's bad news for whoever laying there on that surgery.
Don't put all your